What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon Kindle. Think Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also asked me to put it up, so I'll put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. This video is entitled Black Americans Aren't Responsible for All Blacks Globally. So I was listening to Dinah Samir's channel. If you're not subscribed to Dinah, subscribe. He had a brother on the panel. I think he's a Haitian brother who lives in Ghana. And I think it started talking Pan-Africanism, but the brother was basically saying some things that got under my skin about, would black Americans need to stop being under the white man's thumb or in the white man's country, working for the white man. We should go out abroad and build the Africa. And this ideology becomes a problem because when it comes to immigrants, black immigrants who came from everywhere globally, and blacks who have this opinion of us globally, Africa, Central, South America, the Caribbean, that's what I'm talking about. There's a part is like, we need everybody's, we should do it for people's respect. And I think a lot of times I think that coming at us that way is not bright. And the reason I'm saying that is because the brother said himself, black Americans have a lot of social influence, social capital, and we don't use it. And then started talking about what other people can do and have done or whatever. Now the problem with that is this. Black Americans, because he was like it's 2 billion black people globally. I don't think that's the number, but we're just going to go with that for mathematical purposes. When I hear blacks who are not American or ADOS or foundational blacks, whatever you want to call it, say what black Americans need to do for the rest of the black diaspora and blacks in Africa, I'm like, okay, what you're asking, okay, on one end it's a compliment and another end it's an insult. Because what you're saying is, if there are 2 billion blacks globally, what you're saying is the 40 million black Americans should leave America, disperse, and bring their talents everywhere else in the diaspora and in Africa to help 1,960,000,000 blacks globally get their countries and continent together. So that's a problem. Question is, what do you see in black Americans, in America, that makes you think that we could come and fix countries and nations in the continent that in some ways we don't necessarily have a true connection with, but forget that part, we don't know the terrain. Because, like, hypothetically speaking, would you want us to go to Haiti and refine sugar, or go to Jamaica and make coffee and rum better, or grow, I think they do bananas, grow more bananas or whatnot? You want us to go to Cuba and make the cigars more potent? You want us to go to Africa and refine the oil and refine the gold and refine the steel and the platinum and the palladium, rhodium, mine the diamonds better, like, how can I say this? Copper, cocoa leaf and cocoa bean or whatever. We're supposed to make chocolate better. And it's like, we talking about a bunch of a continent and countries that are predominantly black, that black people in those countries and nations and continent are the the majority population, but the group of blacks who are the minority population, who you say have resources, i.e., American money, should take their American money, bring it to everybody else's country, and do what? Like take one on the chin for the team? Like, what are we saying here? Because you really just want the money. The question is, do you really want the people or do you want the money? Because let's take Africa, for instance. You want black Americans who were sold by other Africans to white people, shipped to America, to now take that American money and take that money to pay for their transportation back to Africa, where you say, one country that I can think of gives free land, and then, but at the same time, they have to take that American money on that free land and what? Buy the resources in that country to build up whatever. So you sold the people out of the country, and you want the people to buy their way back in the country. That's a problematic plan. And if people do it, they do it. It's not, not a big deal. But let's just be honest for a second. Is it something that Africans would probably do if the situation was reversed? Probably not. Probably not. Now the other thing about this is, looking at blacks in America, you have so many advantages, but my country doesn't have this, and it's like, okay, and my country was oppressed by colonialism, the UK, and even America. So whether you're in the Caribbean, Central South America, or Africa, you would say the American government did something felonious to make sure your country doesn't get ahead. And on that same note, the black people in the country, you think are going to get better treatment than you in your country. No, that doesn't make sense. The same government that sabotaged your government sabotaged our lives and for generations. As a matter of fact, they sabotaged us longer than they sabotaged y'all. But all of a sudden, that thought process goes out the window. That's silly to me. And then, on top of that, black Americans are stupid. Black Americans are lazy. Black Americans aren't the people that they used to be. So you respect our ancestors, but you don't respect us. So if that's the case, you came here because of our ancestors, but you stay here, and you wind up in the same situations that we wind up in, for the most part. Are there exceptional people? Absolutely. But they're exceptional. They're not the majority. The vast majority of blacks who come to America from other places, wind up having the same issues we do. And the further they get removed from their home country, the worse the issues get. But once again, they have a home country to go back to. And sometimes people get caught in the middle. Because sometimes people come from other places, and when they get to America, they be so long, they're looked at as American when they get back. You ain't one of us no more. So when you do that to your own people, you want us to go to those same countries, nations, and continent to get that same treatment. Now I know the people aren't normally like the people who speak this rhetoric, but the people who speak this rhetoric get in the way because they're the ones that are here. They're the ones that are talking reckless. They're the ones that are benefiting off of quote unquote our ancestors, still quote unquote benefiting off of us, saying what have we done? But at the same time, we stupid, we lazy, we not our ancestors, but we the same people that you want to enlist to take our own money and come back to your country and help you build your country because we were slaves here. To a degree, it sounds like you want us to be slaves for you. That's not a proper way to try to say we all kinfolk and skinfolk. Not a good idea. But that's just my thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.